Morphology. So, what is morphology? Morphology is the study of the internal structure of words. So, what is the word morphemes? Morphemes are the smallest meaningful constituents of words. Words are composed of morphemes, one or more. So, we have given example here, which is the word useless. To break a word into morphemes, try starting at the beginning of the word and seeing how far into the word you need to go to find a subpart of the word that has the same meaning. For example, in the word useless, we have two morphemes here, the word use and the word less. Use means the action of using something or the state of being used for some purpose. The word less means to a smaller extent or not so much. So the other word is the word morph. The term morpheme is used both to refer to an abstract entity and its concrete realizations in speech or writing. The term morph is used to refer to the concrete entity, while the term morpheme is reserved for the abstract entity only. So we have the other words here, which is the word allomorphs. Allomorphs are variants of the same morpheme. On the other hand, morph corresponding to the same morpheme, they have the same function but different forms. Unlike the synonyms, they usually cannot be replaced one by the other. So, we are now in the word formation process in English. Root is the nucleus of word that affix has attached to. In English, most of the roots are free. In some languages, that is less common. Affix is a morpheme that is not a root. It is always bound. Suffix follows the root. Prefix precedes the root. Infix occurs inside the root and the circumfix occurs in the both sides of the root. The affixes we just talked about are distinctive in one more way. They are acting in a particular way when attached to the base. Either they are giving grammatical information or they are creating a new word. So there are two rather different kinds of morphological relationship among words, for which two technical terms are commonly used. The number one is the word inflection, the process by which affixes combine with roots to indicate basic grammatical categories such as tense or plurality. For example, the word sing, sings, singing. An inflection is viewed as the process of adding original meanings to existing words, not as the creation of new words. Then, the number two is the word derivation, the process by which affixes combine with roots to create new words. For example, the word legal, legally, illegal, legality. Derivation tends to affect the meaning of the word, while inflection tends to affect only its syntactic function. Derivation tends to be more gaps. The meaning is more idiosyncratic and less compositional. There is another way to create new words, the compound word, a word that is formed from two or more simple or complex words. For example, the word good luck, highlight, daylight, and sunset. It is probably the most common one in today's English because it's so productively used in technical languages. Compounding is a process whereby two or more individual words are combined as one word. For example, the word delete, project, menu. So there is a combination of more individual words. Linguists distinguish at least three different semantic relations between the head and the modifiers of compounds. The first, the compound represents a subtype of whatever the head represents. For instance, a happy valley is a kind of valley. A brownish bread is a kind of bread. That is, the head names the type and the compound names the subtype. These are called endocentric compounds. Then, the number two is the compound names a subtype, but the type is not represented by either the head or the modifier in the compound. For example, deadhead, redhead, and pickpocket, it represents the type of the people by denoting some distinguishing characteristic. There is atypically another word that included in the compound that represents the type of which the compound represents the subtype. So our example was a person, so deadhead is a person who is an enthusiastic fan of the band. The Grateful Dead, these are called the exocentric compounds. And the last one, there are compounds in which both elements are heads, each contributes equally to the meaning of the whole and neither is subordinate to the other. For instance, bittersweet. Compounds like this can be paraphrased as both X and Y. For example, bittersweet, teacher, researcher, producer, director. Words are notoriously difficult entities to define both in universal and in language of specific terms. Other source of words besides derivation and compounding, languages morphemes make use of coining, abbreviating, blending, and borrowing to create new words. Morphemes can be either single words, free morphemes, or parts of words, bound morphemes. A free morpheme can stand alone as its own word. For example, cat, one, sun, photo. A bound morpheme only occurs as a part of a word. For example, the suffix er was added into the word teach, so it will become teacher. Then the prefix mis was added into the word understand, so it will become misunderstand. If two morphemes are joined together, they create a compound word. So that's all. Thank you, everyone.